Homo sapiens and Marbz, it's me, Rogue Marby Scott, and welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Saturdays with me, Marbz. So today's look is going to be very kind of vintagey. Sorry, I'm just taking off my ring. Today is going to be a very vintagey kind of look. It's very stop motiony, very cartoony, and yeah, I hope I can pull it off because what I've got in my head and what I've sketched down is exactly what I want. And yeah, however, I'm a bit perplexed. I'm a bit, you know, I'm just like on the fence whether I'm going to wear lashes with this look or not. So we'll see. Anyway, so yeah, it's another 80s look. I haven't had any 90s looks so far in this 80s 90s mashup of cartoons. I don't know why. Like, I don't even remember the 80s. So yeah, going straight into the tutorial. If you haven't already guessed that I've been drinking. I've already primed my face, so we're gonna go in with some concealer right now, and we're just gonna conceal parts of my face that I just don't want to look too much. So going in with my LA Girl Pro Concealer in Fawn, and I'm just going to create crescent motions underneath my eyes, well, my eye bags. Then I'm going to put some on my moustache and beard area and any area that looks a little bit darker than usual on my face. So as you can see, I'm just placing that there, and then once I have all of that in place, I'm happy with the placements and everything, we are going to go on to my foundation. And today I am using the MAC Studio Fluid in NW46, I believe. And as you can see, I've done half of my face already, and I'm just going to blend the concealer and the foundation in all together rather than, you know, blending in the concealer first. So just making sure that my skin is looking nice and smooth before we move on to putting on some more concealer. And this concealer that I am using now is still Fawn, as you can see, just brightening up those areas. And then I am going to go into my gel liner because today I'm going to do my brows using a gel liner. Well, actually I like using gel liners mostly when I'm doing my brows because I like that dark look. Anyway, I'm using the NYX Gel Liner in black, and I'm just going to use a angled brush to fill in and create a new brow for myself. Happy with my brows with that extra concealer on my face, you know, just to hide everything. I am going to now blend it in with a damp sponge and then continue on to, you know, further lightening my face. Well, I'm actually only going to lighten one part of my face today, not all of my face. Going in with the LA Girl Pro Concealer in Porcelain, I'm just going to sketch out a rough shape of what I want around my right eye, and then with a fluffy brush I'm going to blend that in. Today I decided to use a fluffy brush rather than a sponge because I felt like the fluffiness of the brush, not sponge, would blend it in a bit more densely. It wouldn't be too blended out, and it will also blend in my foundation that's underneath. So I didn't really want to blend it in too much because I wanted that shape to still actually be visible before I put on my eyeshadows. So going in with my first shade, I'm using a fluffy brush and the shade is Playground, and I'm just going to concentrate that more on my lids and just underneath my lids. I'm using a fluffy brush because I don't want to pick up too much product, because I am going to be using quite a lot of shadows on this one eye, and I don't want to use concealer because the concealer will create harsh lines and everything. So I'm just going in very lightly before I move on to my next shade, which is Brother. I wanted to say Oh Brother, but yeah, it's not called Oh Brother, it's just called Brother. So I'm just going around the perimeters of what I've just done with Playground, and I'm just blending, and once that I am happy with this shade, I am going to move on to the shade Cola, just to deepen it up, because the character in question is very blue and very gorgeous. Like, yeah, I'm trying to give this like a very cartoonish, doughy kind of look. And then I'm going to move on to Hello, because I just needed some sort of reflection on this look to make it look very sheeny, but not too glamoured makeup, if that makes any sort of sense. Just going to bring some moisture back into my face and set that makeup in place, and then I'm going to move on to line my eyes with the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Electric Blue. Moving on to creating some cobbles on my face, I'm going in with the shade Tune, and I'm just dabbing that on with a pencil brush, and I am going to be using the same brush, but I do clean it off. I'm going to clean it off. Then I'm going into the shade Rusted, and I'm doing the cobbles because they looked really cool in the show in hand. This shade now is You're Kidding, and also I'm going to go into Escape, just there, and I'm just going to create a few pebbles or cobbles on my face. Now this shade I'm using now is Single, and then the last shade I'm using is Skip. Then I go into some of the flashback and I just create some dimension into all of those cobble shapes that I've done, just to make them look more cartoony and true to the show at hand. Moving closer to my mouth, I'm just going to use Daddy around my mouth, and I'm just going to create a shape that I need, and then once I've done that and happy with that shape, I am going to go in with the shade Social Blade, and this is just to create some dimension. Moving on to the lips part of this look, I'm going in with the NYX Liquid Suede lipstick in the color Sandstorm, and I'm just going to place that on my lips first, and then I'm going to carve out like a Joker like smile, just because I felt like if I didn't do this for the look, or this part of the show, then you wouldn't really see much of the show in the look. So I decided, yeah, I need this to look very trappy. Using the NYX Powder Lip Cream in Butterscotch, I'm just going to deepen my lips a little bit because this lip look is going to look a little wooden. Going in with Flashback, I am now going to create my third and final character for this show, and I'm just placing that obviously on top of my head, and you can see the shape. Like, if you can't tell what this is, no, it's not a mushroom, it's going to be a skull. So using the NYX Super Fat marker in black, and I believe it only does come in black, I'm just going to sketch around some of these, well, all of my cobbles that I've got on my face. And I'm not going to sketch around them perfectly because I still want that colour, their colours to bleed underneath, just to give it that, you know, vintage, you know, hand-drawn cartoony look. Although what's in question isn't all cartoony, yes, so I don't want to give everything away. But anyway, yeah, I'm just going to detail a lot all over my face with this marker, and you can probably tell I really like this marker because I've been using it in a lot of tutorials lately. I just like the way that I can, you know, just go very thick or thin with it. So depending on how, you know, light-handed you are, you can do whatever you want with this marker. I love it. So as you can see, I've already sketched out some of those characters that I need to do, and now I'm concentrating on my lips because I need to make my lips look wooden. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just going to sketch out the edges and then I will do some detailing in a bit. So we're back onto the skull and we're just going to outline his face now, and here we go. Here he is. And then once I'm done with that, I am going to use the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Milk, and I'm just going to create some eyes above my brow, and I'm also going to create some eyes on the little green blob that I've already put on my face down below. Ooh. Now going in with a spoot, I'm just creating eyeballs for this look. And then I'm going to go in with some of that white eyeliner. I call it vivid white, but it's not. But anyway, I'm just creating some highlights onto my lips, and then I'm going to blend them in. And then I'm going to go into the shade So Good just to create some, you know, sheen, some highlighter, and then obviously re-detail my lips with that marker. And just a few more highlights onto my character eye. So Homo sapiens and Marbz, that's how I got the look. This is, if you didn't guess, is woo!
Somewhere in the dark and nasty regions where nobody goes stands an ancient castle. Deep within this dank and uninviting place lives Burke.
Hello.
Overworked servant of the thing upstairs.
Burke, feed me.
But that's nothing compared to the horrors that lurk beneath the trapdoor. For there is always something down there, in the dark, waiting to come out.
Trapdoor. Trapdoor is a funny one because I actually really did enjoy watching it when I was younger, but it was one of those shows where I felt like it was forced upon me, but it was something that will always live in on me as a child, as an adult, and you know, yeah, it was just one of those funny shows. I really didn't like stop motion that much, but I do love stop motion now because, you know, stop motion is it's very detailed. It's a very detailed process to do stop motion, and yeah, you have to have talent to be able to do stop motion. What? No. I remember also the character, oh gosh, the skull character reminded me of Kenneth Williams, is that his name? Kenneth Williams from the Carry On films. Like, his voice just reminded me of that, but yeah, it wasn't him. I don't think it was. Anyway, see you soon, and I'll get back to you in the next video. Bye. Or next few videos, because I am trying my best to do Wednesdays as well. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Next week we'll find out what happens to a toad when struck by lightning. Rogue Molly Scott.